Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today we have the Michelangelo, the Tier 8 Italian cruiser. We're going to do the build and play guide on it. And if you could hear from my voice, I am probably still laughing. This, I haven't had time to play this ship right when I got it. Um, I don't think many people are gonna like it. It has some really rough downsides. We'll talk about it more, but for me, who already loves Italian cruisers, because I think they're so amazing at getting rid of destroyers, this thing gave me a lot of tools to do it. Now, it has some really rough downsides. We'll talk about it. I don't think this is gonna be a very popular ship, and I think it has some rough things about it. Let's get into it here. We are using Pablo de Revel. It is a secondary build. I always tend to build towards what makes a ship unique. Okay, that's just the way I am, and the secondaries on the Italian cruiser clearly make this unique. It's not necessarily great, but unique. But for inspirations, we're using Von Hipper and Haruna. If you are free to play, you can 100% use something like Geisler. There's actually other secondary options if you want it. My noise was Geisler. Anyway, for our skills, we're using Not One for the Nuisance, Porcupine, Fight Fire or Firefighter, Master Mechanic, and Fight Fire with Fire. Now, one thing I will say, I use this commander on all stuff, so I wouldn't change it. Definitely don't use Brawler because that's a battleship only perk. Okay, wouldn't use it anyway. I don't normally. On this particular ship, I haven't said this about probably too many other battleship or two other secondary ships. I would probably, if I was building this guy just for this ship, I'd be probably running properly meticulous. Why is that? I feel if you're playing this game or playing this ship right, you're not going to be spotted a whole lot. And having better reload time, the better duration, and the secondary dispersion and the survivability is going to be much better than having two extra heals. This thing doesn't have amazing heals, and honestly, a lot of times you're going to be kind of lurking around the map and not needing them, hopefully, right? So alright, so let's take a look at the ship itself. We are running for our mods. We are running secondary mod 2 for our first one to get the secondaries better. As always, propulsion mod and concealment mod in the third slot. And in the fourth slot, we're doing secondary battery reload time. Honestly, you could do the gun control fire systems would help a lot. Maybe 2 or main battery mod 3. I built into secondaries because they're kind of fun. You could do a bunch of stuff with it. The last one is obviously your SAP mod on your Italian cruiser. In my opinion, super worth taking, but that's up to you. For our loadout, you have 4 heals. I guess they're better than I remember them being. I haven't had that much luck with these heals, to be honest with you. So definitely not bad heals though. Uh, Smoke or exhaust smoke, you have 2 of them, and you have the enhanced targeting secondaries. I don't ever really talk about battle boosters, but this is a very good ship to have one of these on. Helps with your speed, your cooldowns, and your range. And the ship needs it. Why does it need it? Because the main guns are only 15 even with it. Alright, we'll talk about this first. Survivability, 66,000 hit points. For a cruiser, that's actually not terrible. I think at Legendary Tier, if I remember right, Alaska's got like 59,000. So pretty stout. Let's see what Brindisi has at the tier. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. This is more kind of like along the battle cruiser lines. It's more of a Frankenstein. If you can see, the guns are in the middle of the ship. Okay, they do turn 360 degrees though. I wonder if they have that in the overview. They don't, but they do turn 360 degrees from what I remember. Anyway, uh, for your specs, decent health, decent torpedo reduction for a cruiser. Artillery, you have the 320s. Honestly, these guns aren't terrible, but they're not super. powerful either. Uh, just keep that in mind. But your SAP pretty solid on this, and the AP, if you get the chance to use it, it's pretty decent too. So don't sleep on it. Pretty slow reload time though for only having 8 guns of this smaller caliber. One interesting thing here though is you see the secondaries. We're getting them out to 10-3. I believe if you used Hernandez as your other perk, you get him to 10-4, but you lose a lot of accuracy. But that being said, these secondaries are really good if you're not close to a ship. And I want to be very clear about this. When you're close to the ship, these things, if you have like Haruna on and they are pretty accurate, they will just bounce off the belt of ships if you're too close. Within like 5-6 kilometers, that's really all you're getting. And that's the downside to this because these SAP secondaries are very good, but you want to keep them in that 10 to 7 kilometer range. Otherwise, all they do is shatter on stuff. SAP, well, if you get, like I said, if you keep it at distance, you'll chunk everybody. However, if you don't, and your secondaries will auto aim for the belt line. If they start hitting that belt line because you're too close, if it's not a destroyer, they're gonna start bouncing. Just just remember that because that's important. You don't necessarily want to get too close. But if you do get too close, it's okay because you have torpedoes that are really good. These are you get 3 on each side, and these are really solid torps. They're only 8 kilometers long, but they are screamer torps. They're 72 mile or knots, so they're really quick for Italian torps. And for only being 533 millimeters, they hit like a truck. Okay, they are. When you hit something with these, they hit pretty good. AA defense. It's not super amazing. We're gonna see if we get focused by a carrier, kind of in the match you see. And honestly, I mean it's not awful, but again, the carrier kind of has free range on us. Maneuverability for a cruiser, not super amazing at 830 turning circle, but it is a big cruiser. Okay, so it's not terrible. Uh, Speed is pretty stout for how big it is, though, and rudder shift is a little below average. But for this big of a ship, these numbers are all pretty average. Concealment 10-6, which is really good, and you want to use that to your advantage, sneaking up on people. Stats. As you can see here, not bad. It's not been crazy. I've had I had the one match where I really couldn't get into the battle in a very great way, and then the other two, both of them were pretty decent. I think they both were about 100,000. First one was pretty much not a great match, but outside of that, not too bad. You can see the main gun accuracy is not too bad. Again, though, very short distance on these guns. And for the armor, as you can see, we have a 25 millimeter bow. So anything over 14 inches will overmatch you. Okay, so over 14, just so you know, not which is kind of important because you're going to be going up against a lot of crap that can overmatch you, so you want to be careful. We'll take this off, and you can see it has quite a big citadel that sticks out of the water. That's why I said you don't want to be seen if you can help it in this. You can definitely deflect rounds in it. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to be real up close and personal, so you do not want to give up your broadside. It can be a little bit tricky, especially for somebody that if you're not an aggressive player, this is going to be a rough ship to play because of this. Now, when I see Michelangelo, it's a lot like other campaign ships. You see a lot of crazy stuff happen and not a lot of amazing play out of them. But that being said, I'm going to show you the way I feel personally is best. Obviously, with anything, there's a million ways to play a ship and build, so just keep that in mind. But for me, having love Italian cruisers like I do, this thing screams right up my alley. Again, Do I think most people are going to like it? Absolutely, probably not. I think this is definitely a below average ship. If the secondary, it does need some sort of, for most people, it would need either the main guns to fire a little bit longer or possibly another, I don't know, maybe longer distance on the secondaries, especially at tier 8. 10-3 is real low. But you do have good detection to go along with that. Now, there is one destroyer in this match. What do you think the one ship is that I want to kill in this entire match? All right, I'm an Italian cruiser. I mean, already every match I want to kill a destroyer. But in Italian cruisers, I excel very well at taking out destroyers. So we're going to go help our destroyer. We can see their destroyer is actually spotted in the middle, and if I hadn't made my turn, I probably wouldn't have went over there. One thing to note in this match too, you're gonna see that there is I believe a Bismarck and an Atlantico here, and we are gonna go toe to toe with them. All right, so as you can see very early on, I see Atlanticos here. Do I just run away because it has good secondaries? No. Not even a little bit. We're going to go in and help this cap. And based off where that destroyer was spotted, looked like he could be coming over here. So I want to get my butt ready for him, right? Like I said, I get pretty narrow focused when I get in Italian cruisers. So I'm not spotted yet, meaning he's probably not over here, right? So we're going to help get the cap. You can see we're spotted. And I let him know, but then I realized, oh, it's Atlantico coming around the corner. Atlantico's going to get a couple secondaries off, and this is how I feel like is a very good way to play this ship. As you can see, we're helping take the cap out. We're not shooting our main guns just in case that destroyer's here and we get detected. Now, clearly we're going to see he's not here, and otherwise I would have seen torpedoes, I think, at this point. Obviously, Missouri's trying to take a shot at me. There are 3 battleships not happy with me right now. And obviously, there's nobody here but me and the destroyer, so they are really mad at me. But you can see, we're doing work on that, on the Atlantico. And what happens if you get a chance here, if you don't have to worry about Atlantico secondaries, you can absolutely wreck it. So we're going to go ahead. Our smoke is done. We're going to pop out and be smart about this. And this is going to be... There's something about this ship that makes this so much fun for me to play, right? And here's the carrier. Not super happy with me, obviously. There's nobody really thrilled at me here. They have already really tried to murder me the best of their ability. We're going to go let them cool off for a second, right? Mostly so that I can get my smoke reload back. As you see, we're going to take another shot here as we lose a Baltimore very quickly. But also we can now see the destroyer is in, so I'm going to work my way towards the destroyer, right? Our destroyer player had spotting for a little bit, didn't realize he was sitting in the smoke. I probably would have stayed there for him for a second, but to be honest, we could use his spotting anyway. We're going to throw a couple shells. We've switched over to SAP now. We didn't really have a broadside, and we smoked the mountain. We show that mountain who the heck is boss. So, Atlantico now has almost no health, partly because of us taking him out, and also I believe he may have ate a torp. Again, we're not going to be scared of this Atlantico. We just have to be smart about it. We get our secondary cooldown back, and I'm getting close to getting my smoke cooldown back. So we're going to roll in, and we're going to start to push up. But it looked like, if you look at the last spotted, that destroyer looked like he was coming our way. We're going to shoot the Atlantico, and we're trying to get in position to try to, what I think is, get rid of this destroyer, because I am hyper focused on destroyers. Sometimes I get overly obsessed with getting rid of destroyers, but it can be a huge difference maker in your ship, and especially if you're in a ship that excels at it. And I know some people's playstyle doesn't fit the Italian cruisers, but you can be so aggressive in Italian cruisers. Take out a destroyer, use that smoke, and get out of areas really well. right? So that's the way I play them. And as you guys seen from my Italian cruiser line videos, I do very well at them. Pretty much every time you see me, I'm basically a big destroyer hunting them. That being said, we're moving up. I get spotted. There's nothing in front of me except for obviously a destroyer sitting here. So I start to accelerate full because there's probably torps coming to my face. I send some out where I think he's going because I think he's going to go to the cap. He does, in fact, go to the cap. And then I'm letting Lucian know, hey, let's get this guy spotted. I want him. Like, you know, we're going to get rid of this guy. So far, we've backed up Bismarck. We've backed up the Missouri, and we backed up the as the carrier gets me with the other set. You can only dodge so much, but as you can see, the flipping sides with our guns is pretty easy because we do have these 360-degree turrets. And you can see he gets spotted too. Our destroyer's credit, want to give him a lot of credit. What a good play by him to actually listen and help out. Without him, I don't know that I get this guy spotted. And you see we're going to pop our secondary booster, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of him. Then we got the Bismarck right here. That's 9 kilometers away. And we still have the Atlantico over here, right? So, and Missouri. So we're going to go ahead. I have all my stuff back. You can see I'm wondering if I should go out or not. Also, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to eat another set of torps. Because I didn't actually see what the destroyer was. I do know that. And we're going to go ahead and just push up. So you can see we're getting some fire on the Bismarck. Our secondaries are going off on Bismarck. These secondaries actually lob pretty well. I didn't expect them to lob very well. But we're going to get a couple chunks. We're going to go ahead, use our smoke, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're just going to pop out and be absolutely annoying, right? And for the most part, our destroyer is going to do a pretty decent ability at spotting. So now you can see Atlantico's within my smoke firing penalty, or he's really close to it, so I'm going to leave my guns not firing. And again, we're going to just chunk the rest of this Atlantico. You know, I don't even think he gets any secondary hits on us, really. And we just get rid of him, you know. He goes dark here for a second. You can see I go ahead and take a shot at him. Don't get much. We're going to get AP in, or SAP loaded. And now we're going to just go, in case he decides to charge us, we're going to send out torps his way. And we're going to go ahead and move forward. Keep an eye on Bismarck. Obviously, he's going to be probably our next real problem. And we're angling to Missouri. If you're looking on the map, I'm trying to get some angle to a Missouri and Bismarck. Atlantico's basically dead, so I'm not super worried about him. And we're going to go ahead and get some. You're going to see our secondaries do some more work here on Bismarck. But I think, for me, this is like a perfect match. I took on an Atlantico, a Bismarck, and we took out a destroyer. Showcasing that you don't just have to be terrified of Atlanticos. You can. They are absolutely a great ship, and the secondaries are amazing. But you can absolutely take them out, as you saw us do here. And the credit where credit is due, my teammates did do very well in this match. Honestly, if this destroyer doesn't spot for me a lot here, I don't have many targets. Now, that being said, battleship shooting while you're sitting in smoke, you're probably going to see him anyway for the most part. But credit to this destroyer, because he did play a good game when I asked for his help for spotting. He 100% did. And again, he's going to do it again now. He's actually, he's like, yep, going to go spot. He realizes, oh yeah, he's going to trust me, or that he trusts me as a player. He spots Missouri. Not much I can do about it, but you're going to see he goes right for trying to spot the aircraft carrier, which is what I really wanted spotted. And you're going to see one of the downsides to this thing. This aircraft carrier, this Enterprise, is going to get out of our range, right? I can't really go chase him down here. I got to try to help with the battleship. That's, you know, if I pull out right now in front of that Missouri broadside, Missouri's gonna actually probably wreck me, and you're gonna see. I'm gonna take a look. You can see off the map that not in the best spot to be necessarily going out for the uh, Missouri here, because he does actually have a lock on me here. I am spotted, so he would have definitely been able to get me if I tried to make some crazy turn towards the carrier. And we are going to help get rid of Missouri as well. So we definitely, I feel, played this ship well. It's a lot better than going broadside and rushing just straight in like you see these things do a lot so far, as we do get rid of that. And we just don't get, the downside here is we just never get back in range for the carrier, because I would have loved to get revenge on him. We do get 20 planes shot down, so you can see what I mean about the AA, but we had a significant amount of health left, and I have full heal left, so you can see what I mean. But about, you know, maybe not needing a bunch of heals with this thing if you're playing it well. Anyway, we clearly helped our team win, getting rid of the destroyer, getting a cap, and backing Atlantico off and Bismarck, and in fact doing a significant amount of their damage. Anyway, you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one.